Hello, family, and welcome to another episode of Faith and Fun Podcast. I am your host, Mandarius McGriff, and the guest that we have today is the producer of this podcast, the one who has made it all happen, Mr. Bobby Kerns Jr. himself.
Hello, hello.
Bobby, we're so glad to have you on this side of the camera.
Right. This is rare. I haven't been on a podcast in a hot minute. So
Welcome to Faith and Fun.
yeah.
So Bobby's going to ask me questions that the viewers have inboxed and asked. We've had a lot of questions, but I'm not going to do them all today. I think I have maybe about 6 or 7, and then Bobby's going to come up with some too. As he's asking me questions, he's going to he's going to stir the pot a little bit.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Little spoon though, not a big spoon. We're just gonna little spoon.
Okay, Bobby.
Indeed. Alrighty. So, are you ready for your first question?
Oh boy, I don't know.
These these are, I feel like, not too stressful, but it'll get the audience thinking from more of your perspective of like what it takes to actually make a show.
Yeah.
And what goes into it. So,
Yeah.
question number 1 would be, what was the biggest lesson you learned while creating this season?
Wow. I'd say my biggest lesson was when you start, you can't stop.
You know what? Amen.
That's what I learned. It's gonna take consistency.
Yes.
Especially because it's like people were waiting on me to post,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Who you gonna have this week? You normally post who you gonna have on Wednesdays.
Yep,
What's
yep.
taking so long?"
Was it? No, it's taking so long. Y'all impatient? Come on.
Yeah, and
It's a
it was-
virtue. Come on.
And then it was one week. There was something wrong with the episode. It wouldn't upload at 7. So everybody was like, "So what happened?
What?
Where the video at?" And I'm like, "It's coming." I
That's
think it was
funny.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh.
I was like, "Okay, it's fine.
Y'all
Y'all
should
watch
be watching Kendrick anyway. Like, what y'all coming for us? What's going on? Kendrick out there doing the most.
Yeah. So
Come on,
that's-
Serena out there crip walking, and y'all like, where the episode of Faith and Fa-" Come on now. Yeah. But go ahead. They need patience.
That was that. Another lesson that I learned was everybody's not going to support you,
Oh, they won't.
and it's
That's a.
yeah. Everybody's not going to support you.
I feel like that's
And-
been a reoccurring theme across a lot of these episodes.
Yeah.
Is that the people, and it's a lesson that everybody has to learn, is that the people sometimes that you expect to be there, they will not be. But
Yeah.
just because you know it for other people does not mean it's any less surprising when it happens to you.
Yeah, it's easy, hearing other people talk about it, but
Mm-hmm.
dealing with it myself, and it's people that I thought, because I'm very big on support,
Yeah.
and I go out of my way to support everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and I go out of my way to make sure that I show up for everybody else.
Mm.
And the one time that I needed people to show up for me, they didn't show up.
It's like, oh, wow. Wow.
Or when I sent them the link to view the video, it was like, oh,
That's okay.
that's nice,
Yeah.
that's cute.
It's like you wishing you could have your own show too, but you just feeling some type of way.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes, especially like when you're starting something, your opinions really aren't needed. we just want you to be like, support.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, just
Right.
support your friend.
Right.
Support your family member.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you may not like it, but just be like, hey, I watched it. Don't let me
Yeah.
know that you
I
had it on
watched it.
mute the whole time, but let me know you saw it. I mean, like,
I
support your
watched it.
friend.
Yeah.
Support your family member. I didn't ask you what you thought.
Right. I love the effort.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Yeah.
said view it. I ain't say
There's lots of things you can say in response to somebody without actually being negative, even if you didn't like someone.
yeah.
I love the effort. I'm glad you're pursuing something you love. There's ChatGPT, y'all. We got it.
Thank you.
Even that was off the dome. Everybody can't do that.
And AI got one on Snapchat.
Right?
That's my best
See?
friend. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
people just need to learn when to say something and when to show up.
They do.
Some
They do.
people just need to show up. Don't say nothing.
Yeah. Some
I ain't
people
asking.
just need to show up.
Just show up. Like, be seen and not heard. I'm for real.
This is question 1.
Yeah.
Be seen and not
Be
heard.
seen and not heard because it's
What a
like-
quote.
Because if people really understood, like, for one, I already was scared,
Yeah,
nervous,
you
and
were.
then you just be
You
like, well, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. But people will always have that until it works.
Then they'll be like, I told you. No, you didn't. What you
Yeah,
said
right,
was.
right. Or I've always loved your show. I done seen every episode. I bet you have, because now you've been watching, so you can say something about it, so you can be on it, so you can benefit.
And you know what? YouTube got real messy because now I can see all my subscribers.
Oh,
And so why you ain't subscribed is what I want to ask. If you love this on my why?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you supporting, huh?
thank you.
Yeah.
It showed me the other day. It was like you can now view a subscribe.
Yeah,
Thank you. Let's view. Let's
Yep.
see who really
There
doing
it
what they
is.
asking
Who's
to do.
here?
Like, come on.
Yeah, roll call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. I think those are great lessons to learn. And I think that's stuff that, like I said, everybody's got to learn. And I think that even though you've had it to where people have not supported, I think one of the coolest things you mentioned was that you knew God gave you who needed to be on the show from the beginning. And have you had anybody say no?
No.
So the people from the outside ain't supporting, and that's okay. But the people that needed to be here are here.
Okay. And they brought the views.
Right. And that means that if you're not supporting, maybe just God don't have it in the plan for you to be a part of this at all, and that's okay.
And what King George say, one monkey won't stop no show. This train gonna keep on rolling.
There it is.
Yeah, whether you watching or not.
Absolutely. So that's good on the lessons. How has this goes right into the past thing. How has your perspective changed since the first episode?
I stopped expecting.
Ooh. Okay.
I stopped expecting because first of all, I didn't know what to expect when I put the first episode out there.
That's fair.
I was like, what I do now?
What I do now? I wait.
Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna watch it?
Yep.
Are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to hear what I got to say or no?
Yep.
Then as time went on and people started commenting and inboxing me, it was like, oh, this is good. I love what you're doing. I'm like, it pays to not expect.
It does.
Because if I would have expected y'all to just praise me and it didn't happen, I'd be like, delete.
Not delete.
Season 1 canceled.
The whole thing. That was a nice little pilot. It's gone.
Plane crashed.
Yeah.
Plane crashed.
No, that's fair. I think even though there is some negativity in like some people not showing up, I've even been surprised because I produce a lot of these, a lot of podcasts, and it's been really good to see that there has been support. Even though there has been negativity, the positivity has overshadowed the negativity, and the amount of views that you've been able to get from a one-angle podcast for season 1 of a show that did not exist in any capacity before, props. Like, that is good, and it's been great seeing that. And, I mean, like you said, one monkey can't stop nothing. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are supporting, and I think the thing to expect moving forward is that if God said it, it's gonna happen.
Because he's going to watch over his word.
Yes, regardless.
With or without your help, he's going to watch over it.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, so what challenges did you face, and how did you overcome?
We shall overcome.
We shall, and we did.
We did. Let me see challenges. Honestly, there weren't many. Or at least I don't think they were. Or maybe they were challenges, but I didn't know they were challenges.
That's for hey. I love it. Perspective.
What challenges did I have?
I know one.
What's one?
Scheduling. I know one.
Yeah, because you're so busy.
You know that, but also, and this is just a tip out there for anybody who would like to start a podcast: pre-tape. Everybody does it.
Have a pod day. Listen.
Everybody pre-tapes. TV, you see it, and oh yeah, look at that. They filming this live. They not. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Oprah, and nobody was live unless they said Jimmy Kimmel live, and that one episode was live, and it took so much effort. Everything else is pre-taped months in advance.
Yeah, that was a challenge, Tim.
Yes.
Now that you bring that up, like the whole, because like with you being so busy, me being so busy, the guests having their own lives, trying to make sure that we actually record before Sunday get here.
It's rough.
I'm like, it was like Thursdays. Sometimes Thursday was full Friday. Sometimes we were here the day before.
Yes.
To 9 o'clock at night.
Well, that's how you started for the first couple. You was here Saturday, and then you were like, "So we coming tomorrow?" And I was like, I guess we are. But I'm
like,
like, you lucky. And then it got to a certain point. I was like, Saturdays ain't going,
yeah,
cause Saturdays are event days.
yeah,
Yeah, but we done worked it out.
we have.
We done worked it out.
And I've learned to have a whole pod day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Pod
season 2.
days and like just getting it all done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So season 2 will be y'all ain't ready for season 2.
Y-
They're literally not ready.
Y'all are not ready.
We are actually
It's
taking
gonna
it up
be big.
another level higher.
Be like Kamala, we did it, Joe.
We did it.
We did
We
it.
did it. We did it indeed.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yes, no, absolutely. And it's gonna be cool to see the elevation
It
because
is.
this really was like, I feel like a pilot season in a way. Instead of, most people do like a pilot episode as their first one, but you just jumped right into it,
Yeah.
and you were able to establish what normal was, and now we're able to redefine normal because now
Yeah.
people have seen it and they think they know, but they don't know.
So it's and so now that we've already like set this standard up here,
Mm-hmm.
it can't be no mediocre guests no more.
No,
I mean, can't be no little
you
fly by
can't.
night.
You can't go back.
Can't be Uncle Pookie.
We've
Uncle
already
Johnny.
set everybody up to here,
Yeah.
so now it has to be here and above.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fillers. But you also haven't had any fillers. Every guest on here has been standout.
And it went with the previous episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It evolved. It really felt like there was a plan, and there was.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, the whole thing wasn't seen or known by us, there was a plan. And it
Yeah.
really came together and seeing it.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Are there any memorable moments or highlights that stand out?
I want to try to do one from each episode if I can remember.
Oh, okay. Whoa. That's more than I would have done.
I see if I can remember.
Yeah, if I can remember.
Okay.
I might be able to help, though.
Very first episode, Evan Austin.
Yes.
Um.
That was a good episode.
Yes.
That was a
good
surprising
first episode.
That was an amazing first episode.
Yeah, that's like,
Yes.
he ain't playing with him.
Yeah.
I say his entire episode was memorable because
Yes.
it was the first one.
that is true.
But the part that stuck out to me was his story about how he had his life planned out before. And right after he graduated and was about to
Yeah.
pursue his life, everything changed.
Yeah.
And it's like he looked at it one way, but then after him and I were talking, I had him look at another way, and I'm like, "Well, what if you didn't have the ring? You don't know where you'd be today."
Yeah. See, y'all don't be seeing or hearing, but behind the scenes, I just be and that's how he know they getting something good. Cause I just be better. Okay. Yeah. It's
Or even
yeah.
after we're done potting, we're always here an hour or two after, just having conversations.
That's one of the most memorable moments. Is
Yeah.
that, I mean, it really just be kicking it because
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. But that was very good. That just goes to show you can really have everything planned out.
Mm.
And if that's not how it's supposed to be, that's not how it's gonna happen.
I promise you.
It's just not it. And I've learned that in everything. Everything.
Okay.
Especially recently. In expanding into a team and trying to plan things out. You're just like, oh, you thought that all of your gear was gonna work? You thought that all of your files was gonna be? You thought that No. So you really have to have. I don't understand how people go through life without faith. I do not understand it.
There is no way.
I don't. I mean, you just got to be naive to the fact that everything is against you. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand it. And, more power to you if you do, because you need the power. You need it, because you ain't requesting it from above, so you really need the power. So more power to you. But I just don't understand it, because there are so many things in life that we all go through, but even specifically in this past year, that I've been like, man, never would have made it.
Okay.
So, and I have conversations with some people that are kind of close to me that like work with my team and different stuff like that. And stuff will go wrong, and my reactions will just be like, well, we just gonna figure it, and not like going crazy. And they're just like, how do you just not go crazy? And I'm just like, because one, that doesn't benefit anything, and two, I'm not in control. I was never in control. So if I'm not in control, what's the point of escalating and going crazy? Because I wasn't in control in the first place.
Definitely. But now, for me, I'm just getting to the point because I was not always like that. I would fly off the handle.
I feel you.
Because let something not go how I planned it.
Yep.
It takes me a day to recover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've gotten to the place now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
After you've been through so much and lost so much and got it back and lost it again, you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's been some. Don't get me wrong. There have been ups and downs where it's been hard to, see the light of day. However, just going back to remembering why we're here in the first place, and remembering who's in control, and remembering that you've made it far enough to have this problem, meaning you've overcome other things, and you will overcome this too.
Yeah.
Maybe not being the way you want to or expected to, but like you're still here, and you're going through, which means you've made it through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see. A memorable moment from Justin's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Justin's was good. I think the most important thing about him that I learned was to make sure you got your stuff taken care of before you die.
I do remember. Yeah.
Because can't be losing the house.
No. Yeah.
And making sure you got all that handled.
Yeah. To be quite honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah. Literally. Jimmy's episode. That was good. His thing stuck out to me was because of the job that he's at now and him seeing all of the elderly people who have
I
lost.
had a conversation with somebody about that. Yeah.
Who lost their mind. And he was like, looking at them, you would have never thought they lost their mind. But the moment they opened their mouth. And then he was talking about something. And it's not old people, it's young people.
Yeah.
And then for him to, and when he was saying how now his prayer is just, Lord, keep my mind. That was enough for me. Because we always pray, Lord, keep my mind, or God, he's a mind keeper. But no. Like,
really keep
when he keeps your mind, and it's like trauma that everybody else went through, and it's little trauma that they done lost their mind to. But this big trauma and stuff that we done went through, and we still got our mind. And we're sane.
Yeah.
We're not like in a straitjacket in a room with bubbles. Like,
not the bubbles.
you kept my mind.
Yes.
You know the padded walls, ain't no windows.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
They bringing you the plate to eat. Like, you kept my mind.
Yeah.
Like, and I see it on like news and TikTok. People that been through the same stuff I went through, they didn't kill themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
They somewhere crazy. They
Yes.
strung out on drugs, but you kept my mind.
There's a song that we sing at church. Pressing Your Presence. I don't know if you know that song.
Ooh.
Yeah. Take my heart, take my mind. Yeah. Take my soul, never let me go.
Never let me go.
Take my mind. That'd be real. That'd be real.
Because if you take it,
Yeah.
you gonna hold it,
Yeah.
and you gonna make sure it's okay. But if
Exactly.
I take it, I'm gonna take it down.
It ain't going. Yeah. Goodness.
Let me see. After Jimmy was Tat, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this 6? No, you did a solo episode. Yep, that was 6, and then this is 7. So yeah, so her. You right.
We did a solo.
Yeah, yeah, you did the.
Yeah, we did a solo episode.
Did you?
No, we did it, but we didn't post it.
Not me spilling the tea, y'all. See, I can't count. I got too many of these and I'm keeping track with, but that's
Oh, we
okay.
thank God.
Because you know why? You know why? It's because some things eyes have not seen, and they will not. And that's okay.
Ears will never hear.
and that's the thing too. It's like even going back to like the planning of a season and stuff like that. God puts people in our lives that are able to steer us in the right directions, even when we think. So, because sometimes you can innocently think that you're hearing from Him, and there's some people that ain't, like people in the church saying, like, "The Lord told me to tell you." He ain't tell me.
No, good.
He
Well,
ain't tell you
that was
nothing.
your mind.
But sometimes we truly can think that we are hearing, because sometimes it's just we don't recognize the effects that other things can have, or we don't understand. We're just not seeing the full perspective of things in ways that other people are. And so He places people in our lives to steer us in the right directions. And I think that is just a very valuable thing that's happened, not only for just the whole season in general, is that you've had people that you can also send things to that have been like, yeah, that's it. And so it's not just relying on one person to just be like, yeah, I'm like, it keeps the focus from just being on like any one person. And it's like, okay, this is truly like about a grander thing. So yeah, there's a solo episode, but don't worry about it.
And then also in that when we hear him, we don't ever hear the win. Now me, when he tell me something, I run and do it. But now I'm learning to be like, okay, when do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Because I know for sure he told me to do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask him when. I took what he said and ran.
There it is.
And he was still talking, but I had turned it off.
He was still talking.
He said, okay.
He was still talking.
And that's the thing, that as you grow and mature in faith in Christ, okay, hear the directions.
Right.
But then hear the when. Hear the what, the when, the how, and the who.
Yeah.
Don't hear the what and take off.
All of those are instructions.
Because he can't cover what he didn't say.
That's and yeah, that's so we'll leave it there.
Yeah. And shout out to the people in my supporters and the people I send my videos to approve view. Shout out to my pastor, my godmother, Pastor Monica Ross.
There it is.
She'll be like, nope.
She's like, no, that wasn't.
Don't you do that.
That wasn't it. So yeah. So yeah.
Shout out to them who don't mind being honest.
Right.
And who don't mind stopping you.
Yes.
Before you go out there and make a mess.
Because you
was about to make a mess. Clean up on out everywhere.
On out
Season
everywhere.
2 canceled.
Season
3, 4.
All of them. Yeah. And so yeah, that was good. So yes, hers was the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tat's episode. The thing that stuck out to me was the story of her husband. And how she met her husband.
Yeah.
How she wrote a letter to her husband. Did not know who he was. And when she met her husband, he was everything on that list.
That was great.
I sent that to the singles chat at my church and was like, I need y'all to look at this. Like, wait, there's a good reason to wait.
That's true.
It may not be fun, but it's gonna be everything you need.
There it is. That's where the faith come in.
Yeah.
It might not be fun, but there's some
Okay.
faith. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think that was good. Like, memorable. I'm surprised that you was it. Well, I'm not surprised because I know also you go back and you pull clips and stuff too, and so you're able to go back and stuff. But also in conversations with other people, I'm sure there's things that resonate with other people too. So that makes sense. But those all were very good. I think Jimmy's was my favorite because we was here like 2 hours after that episode. So that one was good.
And then y'all also comment in the comments, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
What's your favorite moment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Okay. What do you hope that the listeners take away from this season?
Wow. From this season, I hope that all the listeners and viewers take away the strength to keep going.
Okay.
And to not get stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strength to keep going.
Yeah. Because every person on here had a point where they could have stopped. And if they would have stopped, they would have never made it to the end.
That's true.
Evan, if he would have stopped when he had that car accident,
That would have been it.
he wouldn't be speaking. And then also what I loved about him was he asked God, he said, God, I know you called me to be a public speaker, but I ain't got nothing to talk about.
And he gave it to him.
And he gave it to him.
Yeah. And he could have stopped before he understood that was the thing to talk about.
He could have stopped before he realized that he asked for that.
Yeah. Everybody had a moment.
Yeah. Jimmy lost his granddaddy. He could have stopped.
He could have.
But no, he said, God, I'm going to still trust you.
Yeah.
Because though it may not have been okay with me, you didn't do it my way. You did it the perfect way. So I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Tat could have stopped after a year, not meeting her husband. She said no. I trust in God.
Wow.
Justin could have stopped whenever they told him he had to pay that extra $1,000 a month on his rent. And a year later, he got all that money back.
Wow.
It's like we stopped too soon.
Wow.
We stopped too soon in the thick of it.
In the thick of it. Wow. Yeah, we see the problems and the trials, and we forget how big God is. Yeah.
There's a song my pastor always sings. Though you may see the valley, he sees the mountain you'll be standing on.
Perspective is everything. It is.
And you will also have to remember, we can only see this right here. But he up here, he see all that.
He see it all. He see where you're going, where you came from.
Yeah. It's literally like he just, okay, take that right.
Yep.
You don't see, but if you make that left, you gon'
Right.
It's gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make it. Take
You
that
ain't
right.
gonna
I'm
make it.
telling you, take that right. But no, listen.
Take the right.
I can see further than
Right.
you.
I can see further than you.
Take that right. Because you're gonna mess up your future. If you take that left. It's gonna feel good now, but you're gonna mess up the plan if you take that left.
It look green, but it ain't. It dropped right off.
It's artificial turf. It's green year round. Never gonna die.
It's green year round. Wow. Yeah. Keep going. Somebody need to hear that.
Ooh, keep going.
Somebody.
You still gonna get there.
You will.
You still gonna get there.
You gonna get there. Okay. What topics do you hope to explore in the next season?
The next season is gonna be so good.
It is.
It is. We're gonna talk to some pastors.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk to some PKs.
Mm-hmm.
Some more PKs. Tat was a PK.
I'm a PK.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
We're gonna talk to some well-known guests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A little teaser. A little spoiler.
Yeah, a little teaser. I'll give y'all the first little
tease.
hint.
Yeah.
The first guest of season 2 is the great, the anointed Pastor Monica Ross.
Yep.
This the head singer of Monica Ross and Family. That's the first guest.
There it is.
We're setting a standard for high. After that, it's up from there.
Up.
And I also met a new guest that's going to be on there.
Oh, okay.
I met him today.
What?
Picking him up,
at
on
God.
the way here.
That is.
Working ride share. Let me tell you something about this man.
See. Okay.
I picked him up from this Indian restaurant, taking him to an uptown hotel.
Okay.
He owns 5 solar panels across the United States. He flew in from New York today to meet with the governor of North Carolina to talk about putting a solar panel here.
He had an appointment with the governor.
With the governor at 5. Because, let me tell you something. No, actually, he was going to be on today's episode, but he had a meeting at 5, from 5 to 6:30.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're going to pivot.
Yeah, he said, I can't do today. I said, well, when will you be back in Charlotte? In April. I said, we film in April. Yeah. He said, yeah, just shoot me an email.
Yes, we do. Wow.
And so we were talking, and he said, I can buy anything I want. He said, but what you have to remember, he said, how did he put it? Because we were talking, and I said, because first of all, I could tell he was money when he got in the car. He had this little baby blue light blazer on, in this all black suit, and had these sunglasses on, and had this nice fancy suit. I said, I know money when I see money.
I can see it.
He got in the car, and he said, hello. And I said, hey. And we were talking, he's from New York, owns 5 solar panels. And I was like, oh, that's very successful. He said, yeah. He said, but I don't see it like that. He says, because today I can have it all and tomorrow I'll have nothing. He said, but I still got to remain the same. And then he said, when you go to the beach, what you see? I was telling him. He said, no, what else do you see? I said, waves. He said, yeah. He said, what about the waves? He said, they go up and down. He said, I can have it all today. But tomorrow might be one of them down days.
Ooh.
And he said, but what do you do when you go down? He said, you anticipate coming back up. Because all waves go down and up. Don't never stay the same.
Wow.
I said, wow. And then so we were talking. I said, so this is probably very successful, like a successful business. He was like, yeah. I said, so what's the least amount of money you've made annually?
Oh.
He said.
About to put us all to shame.
He said 9 figures. I said, huh? I said, what that?
The least.
He said the least.
Not the bottom of the barrel is $1 million.
I said, really? He was like, yeah.
Wow.
He was like, that's not important. I was like, yes, it is. He was like, that's really not important. He was just the most humblest millionaire ever.
Hold up. 9 figures.
9. That ain't even.
The lowest is 100 million.
That's what I'm saying.
My apologies.
Yeah, 9 figures. I'm only used to 6.
As you can see, I said $1 million.
Yeah.
I was only counting to 7. That's
Whew. He was like, that don't matter to me.
Well, that matters to me, good sir.
It do. I said to
so
myself.
I applaud you, and I look forward to seeing you in April.
I said to myself, it matters to me, and I was like, are you like well known? He was like, just Google me.
Not just
Googled.
When they say,
as soon as he got out of the car, I said, spell your name. I said, oh, you got your own website?
There it is.
I said, wow, Googled.
Yeah, Googled. That's wow.
Yeah,
He said, when somebody say just go, what a
he was
flex.
like, just Google me.
What a flex.
He said it humbly. He was like, I'll just give you my name and you tell me.
Okay.
How
Okay. But you can't In no world can you say just Google me and it come across. You can say as humbly as I know how, Lord, as humbly as I know how. But if you say just Google me, flex already.
Definitely.
Google know who I am. You don't, but
Listen.
Google got me. Don't worry.
And then you know how when you Google his picture pop up like in the search. I
Uh-huh.
said,
Oh yeah.
oh.
It ain't website first. It's image first.
Yeah,
It's name.
I
It's
said-
it's who you are.
He was like, yeah, doctor such and such. I said,
Educated.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, I would love to be on your podcast. I'll be on there today, but I have a meeting with the governor from 5:30 to 6:30. He was like, can we do later? I said, no, we can't. He was like, okay, well, I'll fly back down here in April and we'll get together. Okay,
Wow.
sounds great.
Wow.
And I said, Lord, I just had $1 million. I mean, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to. Yeah.
I said, I just had $1 million. Multi-millionaire in my backseat.
Yeah. Wow.
Agreed to me on my platform.
Agreed. Wow.
The platform that y'all aren't watching.
Not yet.
I'm like,
Let him hop on here.
I'm like, well, Lord,
Wow. Lord.
you doing it without the views.
Mm.
You just needed my yes.
They ain't ready.
They ain't ready.
Wow.
They ain't
So
ready.
I love that. So we actually kind of we combined that with the next question because the next one was going to be teasing some guests. So what topics do we want to discuss? Because we touched a good amount of topics this season.
We did.
And honestly, the focus wasn't even really the topics. The focus was the people, and the people brought the topics based on their lives.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge thing, too, is that we might not even specifically know what topics are going to be brought up based on just the people. Because if you choose the right people, the topics just bring themselves.
Yeah, if your life good enough, we can just go all day off your life.
And that's what's happened the majority of the time.
Literally.
It's just every time.
Literally.
Wow.
Some of the topics I want to discuss next year. I mean, not next year. Next season.
Don't push us too far.
I'm trying to tell you. Golly.
That should be season 5.
What? Dog, having a reunion. Live podcast by the end.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
definitely want to talk about the walk to fame.
Okay.
How did you get there? Because I know a lot of people don't practice fame. It just happens. And then after that, you're there. So what do you do when it just happens? Because half these people didn't anticipate it.
Wow.
My pastor didn't anticipate this. It just happened.
That's true.
And so now that you got their attention, what do? Do you change who you are, or do you remain who you are, who got their attention?
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people really wish for they wish to go viral.
Oh yeah, that's me.
But here's the fear about going viral.
Yeah.
Is that oftentimes you don't get to choose what you go viral for.
Okay.
You praying a prayer, but you ain't finished it.
Oh, Lord, let me go back and edit my prayer.
Yeah, that's like a genie. Genie, I wish I was rich. And it's like, okay, but you didn't, explain how you want to be rich.
Yeah.
Genie, I wish that, whatever. And it's like, oh, yeah, they going to turn that on you. You saying you wish you was viral. You want to go viral? Cool. You could go viral for tripping down the stairs and breaking your neck.
Yeah, let me go edit that prayer.
So it's like we need to be specific in our prayers and also wait on God to deliver. Because sometimes people will push so hard for something that they don't need. Like, for instance, I didn't start a lot of this from the behind the camera perspective. I was a theater kid. I'm a choir kid. I'm the minister of music at my church. I sing, I act, I do photography and videography. I do a lot of different stuff. And a while ago, before I decided to go full time in my company, my goal was to make it big on YouTube and stuff like that. And then I realized, well, YouTube wasn't making me no money. But one of the main reasons YouTube wasn't making me any money is because I was naive in the quality of the work that I was putting out. And that's because you can only go but so far when you are in front of and behind the camera at the same time. You can't direct something and be in front and have no money. Some quality is going somewhere, and it's like you're trying to be what you see other people being, when in reality, it's not given the same thing because you're not putting 100% either behind or in front or whatever. And so, honestly, I appreciate that I spent so much time trying to create content for myself, because what that did was it gave me a lot of the tools I need to now produce stuff at a high quality for other people. Because I didn't have to experiment on my clients, I experimented on myself.
God almighty.
Yes. And so that's one of the biggest things. Like, you can go back. Like, I also keep up my stuff, like my older stuff, because I'm not ashamed that, like, I used to try and do comedy on YouTube. I used to try and do music on YouTube. And I did what I feel was really good stuff, because I remember the spaces that I was in and, like, the position. I'm like, there is no budget. I am the budget. Like, that's it. And it was like me right after high school or me in college and stuff like that, and trying to, like, do things and collaborate with other people. And I look back on some of that stuff and I'm like, I love that I tried. Because now when people say, hey, I want to hire you to do a music video, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be the best music video I've ever made. And it's going to be comparable with all the other stuff you're seeing. Because, why? Because I've done 15, 20, 30 music videos for myself, experimenting on how to use green screen, on how to do all these other things. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know how to do that because I was the guinea pig. So a lot of times people are expecting to go viral in the beginning when you haven't even put in the work to be prepared for the success. I ain't mean to be preaching out here,
That was
but
good.
but I mean that's something that I've just recently been able to realize is that, like, I was putting so much work, and my brother, he's 6 years younger than me. So when I was in high school, he was in, like, ending elementary, going into middle school. So, everybody think they know everything in middle school and high school. And he would always be like, why are you spending so much time on stuff that nobody is looking at? And it's like, because I enjoyed it. And now I realize it was because God was giving me the passion and helping me to walk down those things so that way I could do all of this. All of this would not have been possible if I had not put in the work when no one was watching to be producing YouTube videos that nobody cared about. That was it. It was a stretch. If my videos got like 200 or 300 views, that was me going viral. I was getting, like, less than hundreds of views. And it was always like a thing of, like, man, nobody cares. It's like, no, the quality you're putting out isn't there. But also, people don't need to be watching your stuff right now. This isn't for them. It's for you.
Oh.
I ain't mean to go this hard, y'all. But that's what it is. And so it's been very interesting to bring it, full circle, because now I am producing, like, these larger scale things like music videos. I'm producing a lot of podcasts for people. I'm producing, like, commercials. We just did a live stream about a month ago. We did a live stream for Congresswoman Alma Adams. And that is, I would say, people say, have you shot anybody famous? Yeah. Yeah, that would be considered famous. We've done behind the scenes in the studio for Anthony Hamilton when he was doing stuff with another artist who's here locally. And so, like, yeah, I've done some stuff with some famous people or even famous adjacent people in some other areas. And it's like, I never would have been able to be in those rooms if I hadn't worked so hard for stuff that nobody was watching.
Let me tell you something. It's almost like, how can I put it without just going straight,
straight
to the Lord? It's like he died on the cross to save so many people.
Yes.
That one thing that he did affects
so many people.
So it's like that one thing you did is going to
yeah keep going and going and going and going. And the cool thing now is, because I put in all that time, now I'm able to employ other people. If you had told me at 26 that I would be able to employ, what do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, and then we're about to bring on 4 as a part. Yeah. So right now I have 3 people who are part-time employed by me. And then we have editors, like, extra, who we send or are about to send a bunch of work to, because the success has been so great for me that I am being forced, not even like wanting to or whatever. Like, yes, I always wanted to expand. I am being forced to expand because the doors are just like, you cannot edit all the things that are coming. I cannot shoot all the things that are coming. So by the summer, we will be hiring another videographer. And I already have another photographer who's on staff, but she's just doing, like, less than part-time right now as we're getting our systems in place. We're being forced to hire so fast that I don't have systems in place for the people that I'm hiring. So I'm having to hire people who are helping me develop the systems to be able to handle the workload. That is where we are at. My cup runneth over. Runneth. King James on them. Runneth.
Ooh.
Yes. So
my obedience got me here.
Yes.
Your obedience got you here.
Yes.
That's
where it is. So And that's the thing too, is like some people can't. I'm just going in now, and I love
Yeah,
it.
go ahead. Go ahead. Help
Some
yourself.
people,
Help yourself.
some people are not willing to be. People are selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's really just the thing of it. People don't like helping other people. One of my biggest things is helping people, and sometimes it's backfired. However, it has always done me more good than bad, and the times that it did bad, I understand the lessons that I was supposed to learn. However, if I was not willing to help other people, I would not be in the position that I am now to be as successful as we are now.
Yeah.
For example, the person who was my editor and now is my post-production supervisor, because we're bringing on more editors, and so he's going to manage all of that. The only reason I met him is because I was on Facebook in some group, and it was for like editors, photographers, something like that. And he asked just some simple question about, I don't know if it was about editing or about, it might have been like about taxes or something like that. And I responded to him in Messenger. He didn't know me, nothing. And I responded with this long thing, and then we kept up. And he moved to Charlotte because I was like, hey, I actually have work. And he moved to Charlotte. Was that beginning of last year or end of 2022? I think that was in 2022. No, 2023. He moved here because of that conversation that happened in like 2021 or something like that, or 2022. And so if I was not willing to help people, there was no benefit. It was literally just like, oh, you need help? Cool. All right, cool. Have a good day. Bye. And then we just eventually circle back around. And he was like, I'm actually considering, moving. I'm looking for more work and whatever. And I was like, oh, well, my cup is beginning to runneth over. It was so cool. Come on, move here. And he has moved into like, he will, without a doubt, be my first full-time employee.
Wow.
Because the work that I'm doing relies so heavily on him understanding my vision. He is one of the only people, actually, he is the only person that I can actually talk to who understands everything about my business in the exact way that I need it to and can make all of the moves necessary in order to be able to get it done. We built our own server here at the studio all because of him. I went to school for computer programming. Do I remember any of that? Absolutely not, because I haven't used the degree whatsoever. He recently was out of college like a couple of years ago, and he knows a lot of computer stuff and a lot of film stuff that they teach you in school. I didn't go to school for film. So now that we're scaling up to this point, he is able to be like, hey, here's how the bigger people do it. Because this, and this. You're managing tons of files. These are the ways we need to do it, because otherwise we're going to lose a bunch of stuff. He's telling me all of the things that I didn't have to invest my time into. Now I'm just being able to find somebody, all from being kind.
Because your gift always makes room for you. And because it's like you needed to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And because everybody wants a mic, but nobody wants a mop. Everybody want to talk, don't nobody want to serve. They don't want to help. They don't want to help
Amen.
make somebody else look good.
Yes.
And because you're doing that, God said, "Okay, now I need to make you look good." Because let me take care of you. You didn't took care of everybody else.
Let me tell you.
Now it's your season.
Let me tell you. Yes, and there have been times where taking care of people was the wrong move. For sure. I've got a couple of people, but one namely that always comes to mind, like one situation to where outright just taken advantage of. This person profited thousands of dollars off of me. Like, we're talking, I don't even know how much, but it was just because I was too kind and allowed things to happen that just shouldn't have. But I'm still here. Never gone bankrupt. I have worked for myself full time since 2019, 6 months before the pandemic. I moved out from my parents 3 months before the pandemic. I have never had to take another job.
He gonna watch over his word.
Always.
He watches.
Always.
And then also what I like about, and y'all don't even notice, but like all the guests, they've been like, setting things up with him.
Yeah. Me
And
and
I'm
Justin
like,
just had a great call. We trying to
Really?
get some stuff. Yeah, I finally got him on the phone.
Yeah.
He be so busy. I be so busy. It was the whole thing. But yeah, we just had a call, and I think we got a follow-up call sometime this week or something soon. To where we're gonna be doing a lot more content for him. He does like real estate and a lot of like education and helping people out, and we're gonna be helping him to get more of that stuff out. And for his Roku channel, if y'all heard, go back and watch his episode. He got a Roku channel. We're gonna be helping him create stuff for the Roku channel and for the YouTube channel.
And we forgot another guest. We forgot Trey.
We did them boots. The boots. We did. We forgot the
Trey,
boots.
we forgot all about you and your
See,
boots.
you
But
know
yeah,
what?
My favorite part of Trey's episode was, and a lot of people didn't even notice. I don't even think this was on camera, but
Mm.
he was saying, yeah, I was going to the club. He said, but ever since I've been doing the dances, I ain't been back to the club.
He did say that. He
And I'm
did.
like,
He did.
because people,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know where God is going to meet us or what He's going to use to bring us into our
Absolutely.
purpose.
Yes.
And He used them boots.
Yes. He used the boots. And also, other people, if you see somebody else, something that you don't like about other people, God doesn't work on your time. He works on His time. Just because you want to drag somebody out of a situation or to change their life dramatically or whatever, that don't mean it's going to stick just because you want that for them. It has to be from Him.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to want it. So you wanting it is not enough. They have to want it.
And it has to be in His time because certain situations He will use to align those
Yes,
people.
absolutely.
And if we trying to step in and save them, then the very thing that we saving them from can be the very thing that He gonna use to bring them in.
Exactly.
So then it's like we trying to play God.
Right.
Let people be on their own journey.
Let God be God.
Thank you. Say a prayer and let them be.
Amen. Amen. Okay. I'm going to get back to the script. I'm going to get back to the questions. But yeah, no, this is good. This is real good. Okay, well, on paper, I'm going to come up with some more probably off the top of my head, but on paper, y'all only submitted one more question. So, how have the listeners impacted your podcast journey, and what feedback has resonated with you the most?
So the listeners have confirmed that, for one, I know the Lord's voice because it was looking a bit shaky. I was
He said it
like,
was a little bit shaky.
Lord, did you say this or was I thinking this?
Yep,
And
yep.
I just said it was you.
Yep.
But as time went on, and I'm like, did you really tell me to get these guests? And as time went on,
It's like, yeah.
and then when you started locking deals with them, and they was, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you did say this.
Yes.
Because you give me some tangible evidence.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. So they taught me that. Well, not really taught me, but they was like, okay, man,
Mm-hmm.
you heard him,
Absolutely.
and you acted,
Yes.
and he did what he was gonna do.
He did.
And that was that. And I received a lot of feedback from people who I never even knew, who were from my hometown, who I didn't even think paid me any attention.
Any mind?
And I'll never forget, before the podcast aired, my pastor told me, she said, man, Darius, I saw your podcast. This was the trailer. She said, I saw your podcast. And she said, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
She said, that's going to be real big. And when she could tell me it's going to rain outside, and I just started smiling. Because it's like, when you know the weight and the mantle and the anointing that people carry, and you telling me stuff, oh, God.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me Jesus didn't say that. She was like, that's going to be big. And she said it in front of the entire church.
Yeah.
I'm like, little old me, I like to be behind the scenes. Don't call me out.
Don't call.
And she was like, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
And then the part that really, really, like, just set the icing on my cake was she said, don't you let nobody discourage you. Don't you let nobody talk you down. She said, I back you with everything in me.
There it is.
That right there.
That right there.
I said, if I only got one view, I know it's her.
I know it's her.
Yeah. And her support has remained consistent the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna share them episodes.
Yeah.
She gonna comment. And she gonna let me know what she think.
Right.
And she gonna tell me what to take down. Because it's
Amen.
it's like, okay, when she says she gonna back me, that means through the good and the bad.
Right.
She gonna let me know, no, this ain't it. We need people that's gonna truly bag.
Yes. Good and bad.
And not just tell you to post that so you can look like a fool. Like she said, no. She said, baby, you gonna mess everything up if you post that video.
I said, don't do it.
I said no.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that right there, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the church, my entire church family, shout out to Grohl. Grohl over everything. Has been so supportive. They've been watching, subscribing, commenting.
Love it.
It takes a village.
It do.
And to see, like, the people you see every Sunday and talk to really support. It's one thing to say, oh, I'm going to watch, but no, you telling me stuff that happened in the episode, so I know you watch.
Right. That was minute 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wasn't in the first 5 and the last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my family, my grandma texted me after one of the episodes, and she said, you represent God well.
Wow.
And I said, thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's not even about how good I speak. You told me I represent the Lord well.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, that was just
That's
everything
it.
I needed.
No, that's it.
And then one guest, he told me, he said, I can see this going places. I can see you on a stage doing this
Mm-hmm.
live, packed out. I'm
Yeah,
like, wow.
we
He
will.
was like, I can't wait to see what God does.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many people, like just
Yeah,
it's been amazing.
it has.
One of the other ones that stood out was my old coworker. She texted me the day after and she said, I'm so proud of you. She said, when you left our job
Mm.
and told everybody you was going back to drive Uber, she said, I questioned God.
Mm.
And she said God told her, he said, no, he's doing exactly what I told him to do.
Mm.
And soon you'll be able to see my hand.
Wow.
And she said, I see his hand now.
I see it.
And
There it
I'm
is.
like, God.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The listeners, the viewers, they kept me going.
Yeah,
Because they held me to a certain standard.
that's true.
Like they were waiting.
They
And
were
I'm like,
waiting.
I couldn't stop even if I wanted to.
Absolutely. I would absolutely say that this is the most successful podcast, like premiere season I've had with
Really.
anybody. And part of it is because you were consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You actually did what you were supposed to do and had an episode every week.
Yeah.
And you showed up and you came with the right people that you were told to bring and all of this. Like you did how it was led. And also, you're being led in a different way than other people who are just coming to do it for fun.
Yeah.
There's a higher purpose in calling.
Yeah. I'll never forget the day before the podcast aired.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed and I told God, I said, I realize and I understand that I have mishandled so many doors that you have given me.
Mm.
And I said, the fact that you have given me this door,
Mm.
I said, I promise to not mishandle it.
Yeah.
I said,
Wow.
because I don't know if you'll ever give me another one. I said, to be honest, I know you weren't supposed to give me this door. I said, but you gave me something that I asked for.
Mm.
And I said, if you show me
Mm-hmm.
what to do,
Yeah.
I said, I promise I won't let you down.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Like, I literally sat there and I said, you know what? And I started going back over my life. I'm like, that door was supposed to, I messed that up.
Yeah, that could have took
Then
me.
you sent me a redo, and I fumbled that one. Then you was like, maybe he just, so let me send it. And I blew that out the water.
Mm.
And I said, you gave me another opportunity?
Another one.
And that was when I told him yes for it. I said, you know what?
Mm.
You did this for me, so I'm gonna give you a for real yes.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? I said, show me how good it gets.
Mm.
Show me what my yes can produce.
Wow.
Show me how far my yes will take me.
Yep.
And I said, if you do, I promise not to let you down.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise to make sure I point everybody back to you.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
I said, because I can't afford to mess up no more doors.
I can't afford, Wow.
Mm-mm.
I can't afford to mess up no more doors.
Mm-mm.
I think a lot of people sometimes look at. That's another. Okay. I think I think a lot of people look at the material cost of what it takes to do something, but they don't look at the cost of what it takes to not do it. What are you losing out on and what are you missing versus the investment that you will put in? Because doing a podcast, if you want to produce it yourself or if you want to have somebody else produce it, either way is not cheap.
Mm-mm.
If you're going to do it yourself, and this happens to a lot of people when they call me. I've had 2 conversations literally within the last 3 days. One was an old client who called me and another person was at a networking event. Both of them approached me and they said they wanted to start a podcast and they wanted to get advice on either what to purchase or they needed help on the editing. And throughout those conversations, they realized that it was actually cheaper to work with me to produce their thing than it was to actually do it on their own.
Definitely.
Not just because of the equipment, but because of the amount of time and effort and energy that it actually takes to do. And a lot of times we don't consider that time is our most valuable resource and not money. Mm-hmm. Because if you're dead, you can't use any of the money that you have. So time is the thing that's going to leave us as quickly as, quicker than we got it. And the investment that we're putting in to our time could just be better spent elsewhere. Versus if you see somebody else and you're like, oh, wow, that's really expensive. It's like, okay, cool. But the opportunity has been given to you to do something incredible. And if you do not jump on that opportunity, whether it's through building your brand, whether it's through putting out a podcast and doing what the Lord told you or whatever, then it's like, okay, what did it cost you to not? Because you don't know what that door would have brought you, and you're not doing it, and you know what the solution is to not do it. You're in it. You're living what it costs to not do it. How much are you leaving on the table for not actually following through and doing that thing?
And also, because it was a movie that my church went to see called The Forge. And in the movie, this guy had lost his daughter. And at the very end, The Forge, it was like a group of men who came together, and it was this little boy. And he was getting to know everybody. And he was like, well, how did you get here? And he was like, I'm the one that killed that man's daughter in a car accident.
Whoa.
And he was like, he was trying to forgive his dad. And he was like, the little boy was trying to forgive his dad. And he talked to the guy. He was like, yeah, I'm the one who killed that man's son. That killed that man's daughter in a car accident. He was like, it was me.
Wow.
And he said, I found God because of him forgiving me. He said, if he would have never forgiven me or talked to me, I would be lost. I think it was a drunk driver. I think he was drunk or something.
Yeah.
And that, like, did something to me. And it's like, who's waiting on me? Who's waiting on me to get it right?
Yeah.
Who's waiting on me to give him a yes?
Yeah.
Who's waiting on me to just let God have his way in me? Yeah. Like, whose salvation am I holding up?
By not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, my God.
The cost sometimes is not just about us.
That's it.
You forget about the impact that you doing your thing will have on other people.
Yeah. It costs too much. Sometimes it costs too much to do it, but it costs too much to not to do it.
To not do.
You may go broke doing it, but you saving people.
Wow.
By you sending people to hell by not doing it. You may go broke, but you're sending them to heaven. You're giving them to God.
And also, if he told you to do it, he gonna supply your needs.
Because you told me to do it.
That's it.
So you're sending me a place, and you're not gonna take care of it.
Right. And you've also given me the tools and materials to do this, and this is the path that you have for me. If God has given you an idea or a passion or a talent or other things like that, and you are not doing what you can to impact the most amount of people with that. And a lot of times, one of the best ways to do that is social media content and branding and putting yourself actually out there in a quality way. If you are not doing that, then not only are you being selfish with your gift, but you're fumbling the opportunity that he has given to impact larger amounts of people. And in doing that, the Bible never tells us that people love to come after, and y'all hear me out. Listen, because people love to come after a lot of Christians and especially a lot of pastors who have money. The Bible never tells us that being a Christian or believing in God means that we are poor.
Let me tell you something. That is the truth.
Never once. In fact, God called Abram out of his country. And once he left his country, the Bible says that he was very rich. Not just rich, very rich. And it's not just in, he was rich in, feeling and prosperity. He just felt great and everybody around him. No, it says he had animals, he had money, he had what? It lists out. So why all of a sudden it's like, we can't do the things that we need to do as long as we are following what God has for us? Why is it all of a sudden that we're supposed to be out here broke and struggling and hungry and giving from? How you supposed to give if your cup empty? He said, my cup runneth over. How can I give if my cup ain't running over? And why am I holding back my blessings if my cup is supposed to be running over?
Okay.
It ain't got to be metaphorical. It can be literal. My cup is currently running over.
Okay.
And that's why I'm hiring and giving and all of it.
Listen.
So you not doing something because you're scared of the outcome or whatever, or I'm scared of the camera, or I'm scared to talk to people, I'm scared to whatever. Moses was scared, and Aaron talked for him.
Sometimes my pastor always said, you got to do it shaking in your boots.
You do. Shaking in the boots.
Shaking in your boots, you got to do it.
Yes.
Sometimes even if it don't work, you got to go down saying that you did it.
Going down saying that you did it. And know he going to grab you before you hit the ground. That's it.
And I like when you said he called him away from what he knows.
He did. He called him away.
And that's sometimes
it's different.
I had to learn the people that I'm trying to reach is not Lancaster. It is not where I'm from.
Yeah.
It is more people in this world than Lancaster.
So many more. Love you,
And he
Lancaster, but it's so
love
many more.
y'all so much.
It's more
But
than
it's more
Charlotte.
people.
Yeah.
It's more than Charlotte. We have a whole world.
Yes.
And he's like, I got to take you something big. I
Amen.
got to take you somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that you can reach more people.
Yes. Yeah. That's why wow. Last week I was in West Palm Beach. I have 2 clients that I went down there to work with. And while I was down there, I met my newest employee. And it was all because one of the things that I went to do, well, some of the stuff that I went to actually do was to help smaller businesses and organizations in just helping build their branding and stuff like that. And it's people that I already knew, just friends of mine, or one of them is a nonprofit who works with children who are in like alcoholic homes or any of that stuff, and they help them through like interactions like with horses and stuff like that, and it helps with like the trauma and a lot of stuff. And so I went down there to work with them, and then for one of my other friends who is opening a cat cafe, and then they do a lot of faith-based stuff as well. And so while down there giving and helping 2 people, it also came back in my favor of making numerous connections and realizing that like, hey, it is not as hard to expand as you think it is, as long as you are going in the places that you are guided. Mm-hmm. Same thing happened last year with New York. I was able to go with one of my clients to work on a project in New York, and I made connections with people who I never would have thought I would have even been in the room with, and it was all because I reconnected with someone last year from high school that I hadn't talked to in years, and the prosperity that family has brought to me, because not only it's the Jones family. Shout out to the Joneses. I can call y'all by name. Y'all have been amazing. Applesauce and crackers, exclusively hair, Trinity Worship Center, that's their church that hired me. Chef Amber with what is that? Sweet Potato Jones. All of them. That whole family, all of those businesses and stuff is with one family.
Wow.
I have not had silence from that direction since I reconnected with PJ last summer.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Rich Tolbert sang this song. It is not an accident.
It is not. It is not.
And that just, let me tell you, our entire lives is not an accident.
Yes.
What we go through is not an accident.
Yes.
Like, there is a reason.
Absolutely.
Why we meet certain people here. Or, like, driving rideshare today, I met, a multimillionaire. Got in my back seat.
In the back seat.
And I'm just driving, doing what he told me to do a long time ago.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's it. Speaking of that, I got one last question. How do you feel that, it's a 2-part kind of thing. How do you feel that Uber has impacted your journey to get here? And where do you think this is going?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think Uber helped because I already love talking.
Fair.
And now I'm talking to complete strangers.
That's true.
And we have conversations down, like good conversations.
Yeah. I believe it.
And there was a time when I was recording them and putting them on social media, and that went good. So I said, okay.
Yep.
How can I expand this?
Yeah.
Mind you, I've always wanted to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. Never knew how.
Yep.
And never knew the steps.
Yep.
And we'll get back to that in a little bit. But I knew what I wanted to do, and I was tapping into it, but I was never full in because I didn't know which door was the right door to take.
Absolutely.
And so I was trying to find doors and find keys to figure out which one will unlock the door.
Yep.
But I just couldn't find the door.
Yeah.
Or I had the key, but not the right door.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, okay, so I can get people's attention this way, and it's good. And I'm not doing nothing that I don't already like to do. Drive, help people, and talk to people.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So that was that. And I was like, I could see this going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to turn it into a podcast, but I got to figure out how to do it.
Right.
So that was that. And then I'm like, okay, I think in the past maybe 2.5 years, I have a total of like 3,500 trips I've done.
Wow.
And there's 3,500 strangers that I've had in my car.
Wow.
And I said, okay, God, I see what you're doing. I said, you're giving me the opportunity now in these little 5-minute, 10-minute, 30 conversations to reach somebody.
Yeah.
That's a new follower.
Yeah.
Literally the other day, right after I left here from doing that episode that we're not posting, somebody was like, well, what'd you do today? I was like, oh, I filmed another episode for my podcast. Your podcast.
There it is.
We started talking. Followed.
Yep.
Just like that. And I said,
There it is.
okay. Because I always wondered, was like, well, how am I going to reach him? And he's like,
Yeah.
I put you in places.
Yeah. He
for
gonna
you
bring
to
them to
reach.
you. Yeah.
I'm literally bringing them to your car.
Wow.
Literally bringing them
Literally.
to your car, your back seat.
Right. Wow.
These encounters are changing your life forever.
They are.
Because this is what he told me to do a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I kid you not. And he just brought it back to me. When he told me to do that, he said, it's people that you're going to help, but it's people that are going to help you. And I thought to help you was help them encourage me. No, baby, to help you is for me now. And I'm like, you watched over your word all them years, and you still watching.
Yes.
And that first part was I helped them, but now he about to do that second part.
Yeah.
And so I was like, for one, I wanted to like, well, should all my podcast guests be from Lancaster? Because I don't want to think I'm too this. I don't want them to think that he said, no. Mm-hmm. I'll send you and I'll tell you who to be on there.
Wow.
And literally he's doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And so this podcast, I see it going somewhere big. Mm-hmm. At first, I saw it, but I didn't want to see it because I didn't want to become this like big head person. But like I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because he ain't no mediocre type of God.
No, he ain't.
And
if he gonna do it, he gonna do it big.
That's what I'm saying. Because it has to be big.
Yes.
He's big.
Yes.
He's not no small God, so why in the world he gonna give me a small door?
Why would he do it?
And so I'm like, yeah. And just this first season, and out of all the people and strangers, and I'm like, yeah, this is going somewhere.
Oh, it is.
But then the flip side on that is, it's some things I had to clean up in me. Because I'm like, okay, God, now I got their attention.
Yeah.
Don't let me mishandle you.
That's true. Yeah.
Why they looking at me?
Because now they looking. Yeah.
And so it was a whole bunch of things I had to clean up.
Yeah.
And I said, God, you're going to have to help me.
Let me do it right. Yeah.
I said, because I don't want them to be, no, that's a hypocrite. I don't want them to be like, oh, no, he on there talking faith and fun, but ain't got no faith in real. I'm like, no.
They ain't got no faith in real life. Yeah.
And so I had to start watching my posts that I post.
Yeah.
Watching my shares.
Yeah.
Editing and removing some friends.
Yeah.
Friend requests, deleting, removing people. He said, because now, no, we want the door. But we don't want the stuff that help keep the door up. We always pray for the door, but we don't pray for stuff to manage the door.
And we ain't dressing to walk through it.
Ooh. Walk in the door looking any kind of way.
Wow. Yeah, you dressed for the... And that's... who was it? Was it
Jimmy?
Yeah. He said, I don't dress for where I am. I dress for where I'm going. That was good.
And that goes back to me, like, I've always dressed nice everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? They was like, why do you dress? I was like, I don't know. This is just who I am. I mean, you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna see.
You never know.
And it was one time I started wearing jogging pants, like while I was driving, and he said, no, no, this ain't that.
Don't change it up now.
Yeah, he said, because no, you may be sitting down, but they see you.
Yeah.
I had one lady tell me, she was like, you the nicest Uber driver I've ever had. I said, what you mean? She was like, coming in with a gold watch and polo, and she was like, how you doing? Just driving a car? You ain't gotta be so nice. I said, no, this is who I am.
Yeah, you judging me by my position.
Okay. Somebody might see me and be like, oh, yeah, we might want him to be a private driver.
Yeah, right.
Because if you take care of the little, he'll reward you with much.
And also, my position is not who I am.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm more than my current state.
Although I love what I do.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
But I'm more than an Uber driver.
And I don't plan on doing that much longer, because when this blow up.
When this blow up. Ooh, I got another idea for you, just so you know. Yeah. So that's, because that Uber thing, that's big.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think I got an idea. So we gon' we gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
But no, this has been good. I also love this as a season finale.
Yes.
He told me last week, he go message me and be like, I got an idea. And I'm like, what? He said, be ready to be on camera. And I'm like, what am I? I'm normally behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I'm in front of the scenes. And this is different.
You got to tell him how we met, Bobby.
So, as much consistency as I preach, one of the ways that I have struggled to keep consistent has been our good old friend TikTok. I do better with posting to like Instagram and like Facebook and stuff like that because those are joined and stuff like that. But TikTok has been neglected for some reason. Yet still, the Lord saw it fit for Him to find me through TikTok. Last year, I posted maybe 10 times on TikTok,
Yeah.
and it was just stuff that was also posted on Instagram, and He hit me up through TikTok, and that's you know want to know something crazy? I had a call this morning, and it was for a cooking show. She found me through TikTok. I ain't posted to TikTok since me and you would. I still ain't, and I said, Lord, I hear you. They said they was gonna take it away, and they didn't, so it's still here. So I need to still use it. Yeah, that's a big project. That's a 10 episode large like that's a large project. And I'm like, TikTok. That's crazy. So we met through TikTok.
Something that he don't even use.
Some I don't even use because the Lord used it. I wasn't using it, but the Lord used it.
Wow. And kid you, that was right after I said, okay, Lord.
Yeah.
I said, you know what I want to do? I want to do a podcast. I said, but I don't know how.
Right.
I said, so you got to do all this other stuff. I'm scrolling down my little For You page, and I see Bobby Head pop up on the screen. And I'm like,
Yep.
And the rest was history.
And the rest was
And I was
history.
like, well, I don't know how to. He was like, no, if you got the money, I got the film. I said,
Literally.
okay.
Yeah. The whole
Book the
thing.
appointment next week.
And the amazing thing is that you were one of the first people to ever use this set. And the funny thing, this set ain't even been announced. Like, I still haven't made any content. And that's the thing, too. That's why I'm hiring people, because to a certain point, it gets beyond consistency. It just gets to a point of, like, priorities. Of, like, our cup is runneth over. Social media is not my biggest focus on like getting more people. The next really phase that I want to do with social media is like putting information out that helps people.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm having to hire people in order to be able to assist with creating content for me, because our whole thing is creating content for other people. So it's like consistency becomes hard when you're doing a lot of things, but that also goes to show you all that it's like, okay, if consistency is hard because you're doing everything as a business owner, you didn't start a business to do social media. So bring people in to help with those specific things. If your toilet starts overflowing at your job, you are not going to get down in there and you're going to call a plumber. If you walk in and the lights don't cut on, you're going to call an electrician. So why would you take it upon yourself to say, you know what, it ain't that hard. I'm going to just get my phone and we're going to prop it up. And it's so much more than that. And you can go so much farther if you use other people to allow you to be consistent. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm bringing people in to assist me as I assist other people in coming in to do what they do.
Because it's not heavy with a lot of hands. It's not heavy at all.
Wow.
And the biggest reason that I want to join this episode, I think, was because a few weeks back, I was like, do people not give you your props like in these videos? And you responded so humbly and was like, no. He was like, but it's okay. And that bothered me.
And I won't say that it's not people don't give me my props. It's just I've never been a guest on anybody else's podcast yet.
Well, not even like podcasts, but like, like.
I don't know. Is that true? Hold on. Let me not. No, that's true. I had to make sure because I don't want to be, coming back, be like, I had you on my podcast. I've been a guest on other people's podcasts, but not things that I've produced.
Yeah.
And people have shouted me out before. Like I will have somebody like, sometimes put me in the credits, or people will, if I come up and be like, and shout out to Bobby behind the camera. Like, great. I love that. And I do appreciate that. But yeah, no, it's not a common thing. And that's also not a thing that I want people to assume has to be the norm. It's like, well, he gonna get mad if I ain't have him on the pod. No, I'm not needing to be, but it is nice when that is something that does happen. It's like, oh, you see me as more than the photographer. There's so many people that only know me when I have a camera in my hand. And that's partially because I've been so busy that the only time I get to go to events is when I have a camera in my hand. But it is nice when people understand, like, oh, there's more to offer than just the camera.
Yeah. And then also, like with so many things that you do, people can, you can get lost behind the work and you can just become Bobby the producer.
Absolutely.
But there's more to Bobby.
There's more.
And so that's why I wanted to bring you on here, because I don't know the story in the Bible, but somewhere, something happened. Y'all feel me in your Bible scholars. Yep. But everybody ran away once it was happening. I don't know if somebody was healed or something, and it was one person that came back and thanked him.
Yes.
What's the
Yes.
story?
Yes. I believe it was the 10 lepers.
That's it. That's it.
There you go. Yeah.
And all 9 of them ran away,
Yep. And
but
then
only
one
one came
came
back to
back.
thank you.
There it is.
And so I just want to publicly be the one
That- mm, mm.
to let you know that you like all of that you dealt with was not in vain.
I appreciate that.
And like this is because of you. I'm just the body. I had the body and the people.
And that's
But no, because we don't give this credit to the toes, the ankles, the arms, the fingers.
Yeah.
We always want to be the head
Yeah.
and the mind. We want to be the big parts. But nobody realized, okay, you need your toes to balance.
You need it.
And so, you know, you may think, or people may think that just because you're behind the camera, your role isn't important. But no, this is because of you.
Yeah. I appreciate
Literally. The high quality, the views. I just came with the people. But no, everything. This is you.
I appreciate
So
that.
I just want to say thank you.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
I really do.
It was a great season 1.
This was an amazing season 1.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for season 2.
Y'all not ready, but y'all better get ready. Y'all got 2 months to prepare.
You do.
Faith and Fun family, thank you all so much for your support, your kind words, your views, your shares, all that good stuff. Season 1, it did not go unnoticed. I'm so grateful. I'm gonna give y'all 2 months to rest, and we're gonna kick back up the first Sunday in May with the great Pastor Monica Ross. Thank y'all so much. See you next season.